A Bangladesh court has now denied bail to Hindu monk Chinmoy Krishna Brahmachari. Remember, this was the same priest who had been booked in a sedition case in November last year for allegedly disrespecting a Bangladesh flag. A team of 11 lawyers participated in his bail hearing today as his lawyer could not make an appearance in court. He's been hospitalized. The priest's legal team is planning to move the High Court in Bangladesh. Following the rejection of his bail plea on the 26th of November, clashes had erupted between protesters and police outside Chattogram court premises, resulting in the killing of one advocate who was called Saiful Islam Alif.
ये बहुत दुखद खबर है। हम जानते हैं कि पूरे विश्व की नज़र इस हियरिंग पर थी और सभी लोग आशा कर रहे थे कि 9 वर्ष में चिन्मय कृष्ण प्रभु को मुक्ति मिलेगी, वो आज़ाद होंगे। लेकिन 42 दिन के बाद भी जब ये आज हियरिंग हुई तो उनके बेल को रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया। लेकिन एक पॉजिटिव खबर ये है कि एटलीस्ट आज उनके जो 10-11 लॉयर थे वो लोग उनके पक्ष में खड़े होकर कोर्ट में उनका पक्ष रख सके। बांग्लादेश गवर्नमेंट को इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि चिन्मय कृष्ण प्रभु को जस्टिस मिले। तो ये जो खबर आई है बहुत ही दुखद है।
Well, I think it's very sad. It's tragic. It's a travesty of justice that Chinmoy Krishna Brahmachari has been once again denied bail. And, even the reason for his arrest, they've charged him with a very serious charge of sedition. But there's no evidence that has been given. They're talking about some rally on October 25th and that the flag of ISKCON or the flag of his organization, the Sammilit, Sanatan, Jagran, Jote, that was higher than but there's no evidence.
Absence of his lawyer who has been hospitalized perhaps has impacted the outcome of this bail hearing.
Well, the first thing to remember is that in Bangladesh today, there is no rule of law. In Bangladesh, the interim regime forced out the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and the 5 next senior most justices of the Supreme Court. This has had a chilling effect on the judiciary. Then there have been thousands and thousands of arrests. Just in 1 week in October, according to official counts, more than 7,000 political detainees were locked up. So given the scale of arbitrary arrests and given the manner in which the judiciary has been completely suborned, it's no surprise that Chinmoy, the Hindu monk, who had been leading mass protests against the persecution of the Hindus, has been denied bail. In fact, the regime has succeeded in its objective by jailing Chinmoy, the Hindu monk. Before his arrest, he had organized massive demonstrations against the violent attacks on the Hindu minority, and those demonstrations were internationally covered. And that was an embarrassment to the interim regime, which has the full backing of the Islamists. So by jailing one key individual, the leader of the mass protests, they managed to achieve their objective.
Right, Mr. Chilani, also when we talk about, the Indian government, they're saying that it's hopeful of a fair and transparent trial while voicing concerns about targeted attacks on minorities at large. What is the step forward?
I think the Indian government has to speak up. There's little else that the Indian government can do. Needs to shine a spotlight on what's happening in Bangladesh, the absence of rule of law, the fact that the regime in power lacks constitutional legitimacy or mandate. If the Indian government doesn't speak up, who else will speak up? After all, there are 3 powerful forces backing the present regime in Bangladesh: the Islamists, the military, and the United States. Now, 3 very powerful forces are supporting this regime, which makes India's task quite difficult. But it makes it even more imperative for India to speak up.